Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at how businesses can succeed in today's world where services are kind of king. Think about it, like almost everything we do involves some kind of service these days.
Yeah, that's right. And it's funny, so many businesses are still trying to apply these old school manufacturing ideas to services.
Right.
It's almost like trying to build a car on an assembly line, when every car needs to be custom designed right there on the spot.
It's kind of a recipe for disaster, right?
Totally.
Like one of our sources gives this really simple example. Think about when you take your car to get repaired.
Okay. Yeah.
You're the service consumer. Your car's the service object.
Uh-huh.
And what you really want is that benefit of a safely repaired car.
Yeah.
It seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But how many times have you left a repair shop feeling the experience could have been a lot better?
Oh, more often than not, I'd say. And that's where this whole idea of servuction comes in. It's basically like acknowledging that services aren't just products in disguise.
Yeah.
They're created and consumed in real time, like in direct interaction with the customer.
Okay, so servuction is about recognizing that services are fundamentally different from traditional manufacturing.
Exactly.
But what makes them so different?
Well, one of the key differences is that services are delivered in this continuous, uninterrupted flow,
Right.
It's like a live performance. You can't just hit pause halfway through.
Yeah, you got a point. There's this term in one of our sources, the uno accused to principle, which captures that idea perfectly.
Okay.
It's like getting a haircut. You can't just stop mid-cut and pick it up again later.
Right.
The service has to be delivered in one continuous action.
Yeah.
But how does that change how businesses should operate?
Well, imagine trying to conduct an orchestra with a factory production mindset, right? You'd have musicians just waiting around for instructions, following rigid rules.
Yeah.
And the music would probably sound pretty robotic.
Yeah.
Instead, a good conductor empowers each musician to contribute their unique talent while still ensuring that everyone is working together in harmony.
That's a fantastic analogy.
Thanks.
So you're saying that in the service world, the service manager is like the conductor.
Exactly.
Orchestrating a team of individual service actors to deliver this seamless experience for the customer. But here's the thing. A lot of companies are still stuck in that old school command and control management style.
Oh, absolutely. And one of our sources argues that those rigid hierarchical structures, they're actually counterproductive in servuction.
Okay.
They stifle creativity, limit flexibility, and ultimately lead to dissatisfied customers.
And then that's where digital transformation comes in, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of companies are kind of missing the mark. They're focusing on just implementing technology without really changing their underlying approach to service delivery.
Yeah, they're trying to automate the
Right.
symphony instead of empowering the musicians. One of our sources, it's a LinkedIn article, actually calls this out specifically. They argue that successful digital transformation in the service economy requires a complete rethinking of the service logic.
Service logic. What does that even mean?
Well, it means shifting from a product-centric mindset to a service-centric one.
Okay.
It's about understanding the customer journey and designing services that address their specific needs and pain points, at every step of the way.
So instead of asking, what products can we sell?
Right.
We should be asking, what problems can we solve for our customers?
Exactly. And that's where digital tools can be incredibly powerful. Think about using data to personalize customer interactions, to create seamless online experiences, and even predict and prevent service disruptions before they even happen.
Wow.
But, technology is just a tool. It's all about how you use it.
We've covered a lot of ground already. We've talked about the unique nature of services, the importance of empowering service teams, and the need for a more customer-centric approach to digital transformation. But where do we go from here? What specific steps can businesses take to put these ideas into action?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It really is all about putting the customer at the center of everything you do.
Right. And we touched on this idea of servicialization earlier.
Yeah.
Where businesses are really focusing on those specific benefits, those nuts effects that customers are looking for. It's not just about going through the motions of, delivering a service. It's about making sure it actually solves the customer's problem and creates real value for them.
Absolutely. And one of our sources, it's actually a document focused on rethinking team performance. It talks about the need for a clearly defined service catalog. This basically outlines all the types of services a business offers, in detail so that everyone's on the same page.
That's interesting. So it sounds like a service catalog is a way to kind of make sure everyone understands what's being offered and what the expected outcomes are. Is it kind of like a restaurant menu for services?
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. It helps set like clear expectations for both the customer and the service team. And when it comes to building successful service teams, it all comes down to leadership.
Okay, so the service manager is really the key to making this whole thing work. How do they actually like create a team that can deliver these like exceptional service experiences?
Well, one of the sources uses this really cool analogy. They compare a service team to an orchestra.
Okay.
The service manager is like the conductor guiding all the individual musicians, or in this case, service actors, to create this, harmonious symphony for the customer.
I love that analogy. But leading an orchestra is no easy feat.
Right.
What are some of the key qualities that a service manager needs to like be successful?
Well, they need to be a strong leader, of course, but also like adaptable and able to think on their feet. Service interactions, they can be unpredictable, so a good service manager needs to be able to improvise and adjust to these unexpected situations.
So they need to be able to go off script when necessary.
Exactly. They also need to be like excellent communicators, both with their team and with customers. It's about setting those clear expectations, giving constructive feedback, and being able to resolve conflicts effectively.
It sounds like they need to be master multitaskers. Are there any specific like tools or techniques that can help service managers effectively lead their teams?
One of our sources mentioned something called a service blueprint.
Okay.
It's basically like a visual map of the entire service delivery process from, the customer's initial contact all the way to the final outcome.
So it's like a roadmap for service delivery.
Right.
What's the benefit of creating a service blueprint?
Well, by mapping out each step, service managers can identify like potential bottlenecks, areas for improvement, and opportunities to create a smoother, more efficient experience for the customer. It helps everyone see that big picture and understand how their individual roles contribute to that overall service delivery.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like having a blueprint for building a house, right?
Right.
You wouldn't start construction without one. But even with a great blueprint, things don't always go according to plan. How can service teams make sure they are consistently, meeting customer expectations?
Yeah, that's where this idea of empowerment comes in. One of our sources argues that service teams need the freedom to make decisions in real time without having to constantly seek approval from managers.
That makes sense. If a waiter has to run to the manager every time a customer has a special request, it's going to create a pretty clunky dining experience. But how do you balance that empowerment with ensuring, quality and consistency?
It all comes down to trust and training. You need to make sure your team members have the skills and knowledge they need to handle, different situations, and you need to trust them to make the right decisions.
And of course, you need to make sure you're measuring the right things, right?
Exactly. Instead of just focusing on outputs, like the number of customers served, we need to track the things that really matter to customers. Things like their satisfaction, the quality of the service delivery, and whether the service actually delivered the benefits they were, looking for.
Those customer-focused KPIs are crucial, aren't they? It's not just about being busy. It's about being effective and delivering value. But how do you gather that data?
Well, it's about being proactive and actively seeking feedback from your customers. Ask them what they liked, what could be improved, and what they would, like to see in the future.
So it's not just about delivering a service. It's about building an ongoing relationship with the customer and constantly seeking ways to improve.
Precisely. And technology can play a big role here. Think about using CRM systems to track customer interactions, personalize communications, and proactively address, potential issues. It's about using technology to enhance that human touch, not replace it.
So it seems like we've outlined a pretty clear path here. Businesses need to shift from that product-centric mindset to a service-centric one. They need to empower their service teams, track the right metrics, and use technology to enhance, not replace, that human element. But there's one piece of the puzzle we haven't really talked about yet: artificial intelligence. How does AI fit into this new world of servuction?
That's a great question, and one that deserves, its own deep dive. But before we jump into that fascinating topic, let's take a moment to recap what we've covered so far.
Okay, so we've been talking about how businesses need to kind of completely rethink their approach to service delivery if they want to thrive in the modern economy.
Right.
But what's really fascinating to me is this idea of service intelligence, using AI to unlock, deeper insights from customer interactions. What exactly does that look like?
Well, imagine this. You walk into a store, right? And the salesperson already knows, like, your preferences, past purchases, and even potential needs you might not even be aware of yet.
That sounds a bit like a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? Like something out of Minority Report.
It might sound futuristic, but AI is making this level of personalization like a reality. One of our sources highlights how AI can analyze, all that customer data to identify patterns and trends that humans might just completely miss.
So it's like having an AI assistant that can sift through like mountains of data and tell you exactly what your customers want even before they know it themselves.
Exactly. One of the sources talks about how businesses are using AI to predict customer churn, so figure out which customers are likely to leave before they even give any indication. Imagine the possibilities if you could proactively address their concerns and prevent them from leaving in the first place.
Wow, it's like having a crystal ball that can tell you the future of your customer relationships.
Yeah.
But AI isn't just about, predicting the future, right?
Right. It's also about making services more efficient and effective in the present. One of our sources gives the example of chatbots. You know those AI-powered chatbots? They can handle all those routine customer inquiries, freeing up human agents to focus on, more complex issues.
So it's not about replacing human interaction, but rather like enhancing it.
Exactly. AI can handle those repetitive, mundane tasks, allowing those human employees to focus on what they do best, like building relationships, solving problems, and delivering those exceptional service experiences.
It seems like a lot of businesses are still kind of hesitant to like embrace AI. What do you think is holding them back?
I think there's a fear that AI will, take away jobs, which is understandable. But one of our sources argues that AI should be seen as a tool that can augment human capabilities, not replace them entirely.
It's like giving your service team a superpower, isn't it?
Yeah.
They can do more, achieve more, and deliver even better service with the help of AI.
Exactly. And as AI technology continues to evolve, the possibilities are really limitless.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We've explored the fundamental differences between services and products, the importance of empowering service teams, the need for a customer-centric approach to digital transformation, and the incredible potential of AI in service delivery. It's clear that businesses that, embrace these concepts will have a significant advantage in the service economy.
Absolutely. It all starts with a willingness to challenge old assumptions, to embrace change, and to put the customer at the center of everything you do.
To all our listeners out there, we encourage you to think about how you can apply these principles of servuction and service intelligence to your own businesses. How can you empower your teams, leverage technology, and create truly exceptional service experiences that will keep your customers coming back for more? Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep serving.